I have with me the founder and owner of New Beginnings Barber and Beauty School. She goes by, or her name is, I should say, one and only Miss Felicia Jeffries. Felicia, how you doing?
Hello, how are you?
Doing well. Listen, not gonna in some ways waste any time. I gotta know about the journey itself. How you guys started turning your passion in forms of, or in terms of being a hairstylist. Using that passion and that gift to launch your own college like that. That's like super dope. I mean, launching your own college. Getting opening doors for so many people to, in some ways, tap into that same gift, that same passion, but most importantly, gain some education behind it. So let's talk about it. How did it all come about? Goals for the future and everything else that's involved. What's the story? What's the backstory, I should say?
Okay, well, of course, I started out as a regular hairstylist, a barber. I'm corrected. I started out as a barber, worked in the industry for about 14.5 years. Kind of got out there in the industry, going to hair shows, trade shows, continuing education classes, and I started networking. Just networking with people and seeing how much you could grow in the hair industry is definitely more than being behind the chair. And so just connecting with people and seeing where they were in the industry, it gave me a passion to be more than just a regular barber that's just turning the chair every day, just doing hair. And so I found a desire to teach. And so I had to find what my niche was. And my niche was basically dealing with natural hair clients and resolving hair loss issues. So I started there. So I got my first opportunity from Mr. Russell Chu from Lake Charles, Louisiana. He gave me my first opportunity to speak on a broad stage of an audience of more than 300 people. And it kind of just took off there. People started hearing my class, started inviting me out on different platforms, wrote a few books in between here and there. And that put me on different platforms. I just started getting interviews and opportunity to speak on bigger stages. And after that, I think that I was becoming an inspiration to people. People were very inspired, not only by what I was teaching them, it's just the fact that I had the courage enough to do more, to be more. And just teaching people just to see how much that they seen that they needed to grow in different areas of their life. And I was like, you know what? I think my purpose on this earth is to be an inspirer or motivator. And so I was like, I think the classroom setting is my place of peace. And so I had always had a vow, even when I was in school myself, that I wanted to open up a school. But back then, it was just a dream. And it seemed a bit impossible because when you look at the magnitude of how schools operate, is you're graduating people to go out and have like real careers. So you have this dream, not really thinking if this dream is attainable, right. But by grace, I will say, the pandemic came, and I will say, although the pandemic was very detrimental to us in so many ways, it was also a blessing to me because it gave me an opportunity to sit down, reassess myself, and to really see what God wanted me to do here on this earth. And that was to educate, to inspire, to motivate. And I feel like I can do that in a school setting. So when they shut us down during the pandemic, I used that opportunity to completely shut down, to dissolve my salon. And my sister and I went out, we looked for property, and also my best friend, James. And I said, you know what? I think this is an opportunity to do it. And so when I made mention to my best friend, when I made mention to my best friend to open up a school, he was like, right now? He said, I don't know. I was like, I think it's the right time. I think it's the right time.
So what was the timeline when you talk about the, I guess from when the actual salon had closed down to you sort of going through the process of, as you mentioned, dissolving and looking at, other options?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's kind of crazy because we were shut down. They actually asked us to volunteer to shut down around the week of March 12th, somewhere when they declared it a pandemic and when they started with I guess you can say, started classifying people as being essential and non-essential. And so I did, and I didn't shut down. I was like, well, I'm not going to shut down until they make us shut down. And so we actually got an email from our state board recommending that we needed to shut down. So I actually shut down my salon March 16th. And just being at home, not being able to go out or anything like that, I was like, you know what, this is not for me. I can't sit at home. I can't do anything. And so I was like, I think this is a time. And so I completely shut down my business. I gave a 30-day notice to the landlord of my previous establishment. We attained the building that I'm in now in April. We actually moved in May 25th, and we actually got the building approved through the city. Just went through all the rigmarole. And the building was approved to start operations June 8th. I operated as a salon for a little while until I got the building set up for a school. And so we applied for our inspection for a school in October. So we were approved October 8th, and we opened up the school November the 4th. So it was a very, very narrow timeline. We crunched it. No real plan or anything like that. It was just a vision that I had in the midst of a pandemic that I have to do more with what God gave me. And so in between the months of March and November, bam, we have a school.
So with it being a school, what was the vision itself to start off? When you think about small businesses or even just startups itself, you always want in some ways kind of capture home base first, local community, get your most of your supporters together and people that will support the vision. Now, was that your goal in some ways? Okay, get the community, or are you thinking in terms of like, let's think, let's move, let's grind, let's reach as many people as possible to get the word out? Because you don't have that many beauty, barber and beauty colleges, in certain areas. So was it really a hometown focus or a hometown sort of just passion, or were you thinking beyond in some ways the confines of your community?
My mindset was Holly Springs, we need businesses here that don't take. You have so many stores, you have loan shark companies that come in the community and they're taking from the community. But what about something where we're giving back to the community? We're producing people who are a product of the community, people who can create success within themselves that can give back to the community. So you have barbering, that is a profession. We don't just take from our community. Yes, we serve our clients, but we're also in a profession where we can pour back into it. Because no matter who works in the community, the barber and the stylist, they come into contact with everybody in the community, with the teachers, the doctors, the lawyers, the judges. We come into contact with everybody. So why not create an individual who can basically bring a combination of success in so many different ways? And so bringing a barber school to Holly Springs, we're the only barber school in Mississippi within a 50-mile radius. The next barber school that you may get to may be in Ripley, which is about 45, 50 miles over. And then you will have to cross over into the Tennessee state lines. There was previously a barber school here, and it was something that the community needed. And I felt like I owe the community of Holly Springs to plant a seed here to where I can give back, produce some adults who can find a way to give back as well. So it's basically, I was planting a seed that will keep on giving. If you ever plant greens and you plant one seed and they spread all over the place, that's kind of the vision that I had when I opened up the school. I just wanted to create something where I could feed my people, not physically, but I can feed the people here mentally. Teach them a skill set that would help them to produce such a beautiful and successful life. When you become a barber, it's not limited. It's nothing to where you have to compete with other people to get to that next step in life. It's a career that keeps growing. If you want more, you do more, you can have more in this industry. And that's just what I want for people. I really want to see my people win.
And that's what I was kind of want to tap into. As I got older, as I began to look at, certain professions, certain businesses, you never really understand the impact and influence that they have on people's lives. When breaking down and looking at the lifestyle of a barber, speak to that in some ways, because when you think of entrepreneurship, when you think of, as you mentioned, sort of being that outlet, and so many people from different walks of life coming into those chairs or sitting in those salons, whichever way you do it, from a barber or a stylist. What are some of the unknown variables or some of the unknown things that a lot of people may not know about the life of a barber? Speaking as now, you being a founder, as well as you being a lifetime or lifelong stylist for so many years.
Being a barber, you're an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur in your own rights. When you sit in the chair and you get hair services, you may confide in your barber. So now you converted your barber into a counselor. You may have a child that sits in your chair and they may be struggling in school. And so now you become a teacher as a barber. You may also have people that come in and they're like, man, I'm working this job right now, but I want more. So now you become an inspirator. You're a motivator. So with so many roles we play, we're a barber to the eye of the public, but in the inside, we're so many other things. We're stepmoms, stepdads sitting in these chairs. We're educators. We're inspirators. We're motivators. We're educators. We're counselors. We're everything. And so it puts you in a mindset, man, I have something to say. I really want to say something to my community. And that was my mindset. So I started writing books. I started writing books to my clients. My first book, teaching them how to care for their hair, because you sit in the chair and you say, hey, I'm having this issue, how can I solve it? So I started writing books. So now I'm a barber and an author. As I told you, started getting on the platform to teaching. And so now I'm a barber, an educator, and an author. And so it's so much more than just being a regular barber behind the chair. We have so much skill set that is more than just being behind the chair, sending somebody out here with a nice haircut or a nice hairstyle. You sent someone out the door, you built their self-esteem, or you've inspired them to do more, to be more, or you've been an entrepreneur. You can encourage a person that comes in and sits in your chair to be an entrepreneur. So we can create our own product lines. We can open up schools. We can create other businesses that bounces off of the business of being a barber. So it's so broad. People look at us as just being, okay, they just do hair. No, we don't. We are way more than that. We are way more to our community. And like I said before, if you want anybody to get the word out about what's going on in the community, it will be your local barber or your local stylist, because we come into contact with everyone in the community. We are that prime person in the community that anybody can connect with. And that's just basically what it is. We're more than barbers.
Now, when you think about that in a lot of different ways, of course, so many things are being highlighted and celebrated this month. Of course, this month, shout out to all my teachers, with you being one of them, Teachers Appreciation Week. But another thing I think about when you look at, the lifestyle and the sort of the aura of a barber, it's almost a sign of therapy. Or it's almost a lineage of therapy in some ways, because people come to you or to individuals in your platform within that profession. They want to look good. They want to feel good. And like you say, you kind of have that seat that's almost sort of a counselor in terms of, how they feel, how they think, having that ear to listen or their voice to hear them out. Let's talk about that in some ways. Of course, with this month being Mental Health Awareness Month, do you see or feel a correlation between, the lifestyle of a barber or the role of a barber and how it pertains to people's mental health, especially that of their clients? And if so, what is it?
Oh, yeah. Just as a normal person, when we leave home, we may be escaping something. We may be escaping our children, escaping our spouses, escaping something that takes a toll on our mental capacity. And so I think the same thing with my clients when they come and get their hair done. They're escaping the world. They're coming in for their rest, their relaxation that they can't get at work, they can't get at home. And like I said before, they confide in us with some things. You have barbers who are true secret keepers, and I'm one of those. I have a lot of secrets that I will be taking to my grave, because my clients have found such confidence into talking to me about certain things. I don't know how many clients I've talked off of a ledge. I don't know how many clients I've talked out of divorce. I don't know how many clients I've talked out of quitting jobs or just quitting or giving up on their dreams and goals, or how many children that you talk out of suicide. You never know. But that opportunity, when someone sits there in your chair, we have to stop talking and we have to start listening. And that's one thing that I learned about the pandemic. The pandemic had such a toll on a lot of people mentally, because we could not get out and do those things that we love. So if we have not been in the past a good listening ear to our clients, this is a better time to be there, because the pandemic has definitely taken a toll on us, and mental health is real, especially in the Black community. And we have to become aware of the mental illness that's taking effect on our people.
Right. Yeah. I mean, one thing I've noticed over the years is that a lot of kids as far as the men, that's probably the only male figure they have in their life is their barber. I mean, thing, especially young boys. I definitely got in some ways speak to that. That's probably the only sort of outlet they have that is male dominated, or in some ways uses a male platform or open space, I should say, to talk about sports, to talk about just school, to talk about so many other different elements of life that they may not have. So what is some of the things that the message you normally take or give to your clients, you know, regardless of age, in terms of life, in terms of lessons that you've learned from your own life personally? So, because of course they say you got to go through it in order to share it. You got to overcome your testament of it. So what are some of the things that you normally would share or do share with not only your clients, but even your students now?
I teach my students, number one, how to have compassion for the next person. One thing that I have learned about myself is in the past, I've had lack of patience, lack of compassion, the lack of empathy. I didn't care. If it didn't benefit me, I didn't care anything about it. But I got to a point in my life where I had to realize it was no longer about me, especially when I had children. It's no longer about me. And so when people complain, I ask them, you know, why are you complaining? Is your complaint going to be a betterment of your situation? And of course, the answer is always no. And so you have to help them bring forth a solution. You have to see them see the other side. You know, people always think that the grass is green on the other side. If I escape this problem and go over there, things will be better. No, we always have to address the issues that we're going through first. Once we address it or get to the heart of the matter, which I would like to say, let's get to the heart of the matter of what's going on and address it from there. Never give up on the situation. It may get tough. And I've always learned just through my spiritual life, how is it that I can experience God if I don't go through things? So I always tell them, God is not sending you through this situation for no reason. It has to be something better on the other side of it. God already has it planned out. So we just have to go through it, get through it, grow through it, and see what's better on the other side. And once we get on the other side of it, let that testimony be a blessing to someone else. And once we go through it, we can, it kind of just passes on. It's just like traditions. If I go through a situation and I get through it, now I have a testimony. Now I can help you get through that situation. And even with children, disobedient children, I tell them I've been there before. I've been a disobedient child, but it got me nowhere. I always tell children, listen to your parents. Listen to your parents. And I always tell adults, you know, faith without work is dead. You know, you always have people to say, man, I'm just waiting on God to do this. I'm just waiting on God. And I always tell my clients, if God gave you, if you already have the vision, God has already arrived. God is waiting for you to arrive. So we have to talk our clients through things. And I tell anyone, if you ever have a dream, a goal, a vision, don't give up on it. Link yourself with people who are like-minded, who are already there, doing what you want to do, and they can help you get to where you're going, but never give up. Children, never give up on your goals and dreams. Have a positive mindset, have a good prayer life, have a good spiritual life. And so that's kind of how I talk to my clients. I just try to bring them out of that dark space, because you have so many people living in darkness. And you just have to let them see the light side, the lighter side of things. Kind of like you said, just the things that I went through. I try to talk to them on the aspect of what I went through. I can't speak on the situation that I've never dealt with, but I can speak to it through the situation that I went through. So like you said, being a counselor is definitely one of the number one things that we are as Barber.
And now we're looking at from a business aspect. I think a lot of things that we don't share enough of. We talk about generational wealth. We talk about needing to, in some ways, bring that next young person up to kind of think about being their own, I guess some would say own boss, or just being that next example. What are some of the business lessons that you can share, you know, from your journey thus far, whether it be from a financial literacy standpoint, whether it be from the standpoint of you just, stepping outside the box, being different, being unique, and chasing your dreams? What is the financial piece behind that? Like, I love to hear that from any and all business owners, as well as entrepreneurs, or not just entrepreneurs, persons that are thriving within their respective professions. Now, give us some business sense or business knowledge that you in some ways would want to and continue to share as you continue to go through your journey.
One thing I will say, from experience, the lack of financial literacy will be the root to your lack of success. Everyone needs to have financial literacy, whether you're going to own your own business or not. That's the only way to have financial freedom. If you are not good at managing your money, you're not going to be good at managing your business. Money problems, I think, are one of the number one reasons why businesses are closing, because people do not know how to manage. So invest in yourself by investing in financial literacy classes to teach you how money works. People think that just because you have money in the bank that you have something going on. No, you have to find ways to let your money work for you. Just having millions of dollars sitting in the bank, that's nothing. You actually have to find a way for that $1,000,000 to work for you. Learning how to address what is a need, what is a want. When you want to be a successful entrepreneur or being financially stable, you have to let go of those wants and only address those needs. So financial literacy, I can't speak enough on it about it. I can talk to you all night long about the importance of having financial literacy. It starts there. Even when creating a business plan, if you don't know financial literacy, that business plan is not going to be what it needs to be, because it's the first thing that a bank is going to ask you when you go to a bank and ask for a loan. What is your financial outlook for your business? And if you have no clue about what your financial outlook is for your business, you will definitely be denied. Financial literacy is a plus, whether you want to be a business owner or not. That's the only way that we can reach that financial freedom that we lust for.
Now, is there another, with that being said, with you being in the position that you're in terms of being a college, is there something you think you'll start importing and put more emphasis on as you have more students to come through your program, as well as through those walls, not necessarily learning the technique or the skill, but also some knowledge as well as expertise in those areas that will only help them and benefit them both short and long term? As you mentioned, financial literacy and knowing how to in some ways manage and save, things of that nature. Is that something that you can see? Because one thing about high schools that the knock that a lot of high schools are getting is that they don't teach kids about the importance of financial literacy. They don't teach them about the importance of independency. When you wrap that into what a barber is, and with you being a owner of a barber college, do you see that sort of being implemented or used in some ways to impart knowledge as well as a more of a broader sense of financial literacy or skill set to your students?
By, just like you said, by owning the school, I kind of have the upper hand to add that to my curriculum. So that is one of the things that Javis and I, who's my business partner, we both have implemented that into the program. And that is something that we are going to teach our students when they get to that portion of the program, is that when you become a barber, yes, we make a lot of money. We really do. But learning how to manage that money is going to be key. So we are actually teaching our students how to gain financial wealth from behind the chair. Now, being barbers, we don't have 401k plans. We don't have retirement plans. We don't have saving plans. We don't have life insurance or anything. You have to create those lanes of financial success on your own. So that goes back to, what is financial literacy? What does my money mean to me, and what do I mean to my money? How can I make my money work for me? When I get ready to retire at 60, 70 years old, am I going to be financially stable? And we're going to teach them exactly how to do that, how to save your money. You may make $1,500 this week, but how much money of that are you going to save? And so we are implementing how to teach our students how to be financially successful behind the chair. A lot of barbers and stylists get lost in the industry because they were not taught that in school. Yeah, they teach us about barbershop management, but they don't teach us about how to manage our money. And so that's one of the things that we are going to teach our students. We will not let them walk out of those doors without making sure that they are ready, skilled and ready. Make sure they are ready on the theory side, but we definitely want to make sure that they are ready on the financial side, that they are financially literate to go out, whether they want to own a barbershop of their own, or if they want to be a booth renter. We're going to teach them how to really be successful in this career, not by their skill set, but by their knowledge that they possess from behind the chair.
I love it. She goes by the name of Miss Felicia Jeffries, the founder and owner of New Beginnings Barber and Beauty College. Any last words? Give us some information, any special shout outs, information you want to give to the people so they can take with them, or how they can stay in contact with you as well. Give us something to take with us.
I first just want to say thank you so much for having me on. Thank you for highlighting this, and I just thank God for the opportunity because without Him, this would not be possible. So I will give all praise, honor, and glory to God for making this possible. I know He has His school open because He has some people that He wants me to reach. He has some people that He really wants us to pour into. It's not just about barbering; it's just about passing down the torch. To other people, just teaching them just to be great. Simple as that, just to how to be great, be better than who we were yesterday. I just want to thank everybody. Thank Javis, it's my business partner. He also owns the school with me, for being just a visionary right along with me, just being a sparring partner. And I just want to tell people, if you can think it, if you can dream it, you can definitely achieve it. It has not been an easy journey for me at all, but I will say every bump in the road that I had to go over, I would not take it back because it's definitely been worth it. Just being in this place now, like I'm grateful. And I just thank you for allowing me to share my story, for it to be an inspiration for someone else who's out there trying to figure out what their next move is. Just find your purpose in life, and be good at whatever you desire to be, whether you want to be a boss or a worker. Just be good at who you are. And again, just thank you for this platform.
No doubt. John Huey Radio checking in with you. Once again, she goes by the name, or her name is Miss Felicia Jeffries. Y'all keep it locked right here, man. Still more to come. We back at you later, man. Keep it locked. We out. Peace.
Music, interviews, podcasts, and so much more. John Huey Radio. Next level.